Question 25. We've got a box of mass 60 kilograms. So let's put out 60G on going down there, and we'll have a normal reaction coming up as well. And it's moving along a rough, yeah, it is rough, isn't it? A rough. So we've got some friction stopping it moving. Got some friction here stopping it moving, and it's being pulled by a force P. So I had to read that because there's a bit more there. And the force P is acting at 60 degrees to the horizontal there. And it's moving in this direction at a constant speed. A constant speed. So there's no acceleration there then, is there? So look, normal stuff here. We've got to break this up to start with. So pulling this to the right is P cos 60 because it's next to the angle. And pulling this up is P sine 60 because it's opposite the angle. And I think we've got some things to work on here then, haven't we? Tell you the other thing we know. We've been told that the coefficient of friction is 0.25. So friction equals mu times r. And we know that mu is 0.25. So I've got friction is 0.25 r. That might be helpful as we work on. Going to take forces in both directions. First of all, moving to the right. Moving to the right, I've got P cos 60. Stopping it moving is the friction. And that will equal mass times acceleration, but the acceleration's 0 because it's moving at a constant speed. So I'm going to put a 0 in there. So P cos 60 minus what was friction? It was that, 0.25 r equals 0. If I just rearrange that a tiny bit, I can get that r is equal to, I'm just going to add that and times by 4, don't they? 4p cos 60. There you go, that's what r is. Because what I can do now is now I'm going to do forces up as well. And the forces up are r plus the p sine 60 minus the 60g, and that will equal 0. But r was this one here, so I've got 4p cos 60 plus p sine 60 equals 60g. Now all I'm going to do now is take a factor of p out and divide both sides. And yeah, I could be working out what 4 cos 60 is and sine 60 is, but I'm showing it like this because this rearranging could be used if we didn't know the angle and we were trying to work out something else. So I've worked all the way through there. I've got that the P is going to be 60g divided by 4 cos 60 plus sine 60. Tap all of that into the calculator and you get that that's 205 newtons. So P is 205 newtons. I dealt with these two equations simultaneously. I worked with the first one to the right and isolated what R was. I worked with the next one up and substituted that in. The last part just says, well, what would happen if it was smooth? Well, if it was smooth, there'd be no friction, would there? And if there was no friction, nothing there, then P cos 60 would equal 0. And so P must equal 0 then.